New York is home. This is where I'm born and raised. Born in 1975 in a neighborhood called East New York, Brooklyn. The projects of East New York, the Linden projects. Went to school out there, elementary school, junior high. My family and I moved around in Canarsie, Flatbush, in Starrett City, which is now called Spring Creek. I went to high school in Brooklyn, and I went to Brooklyn College. I'll always represent Brooklyn, but like a Brooklyn that doesn't exist anymore. There are some things that changed for the better that I think are fantastic. I mean, that downtown Brooklyn area, I'll make a confession. In the 90s, a lot of raves happened in that area. Oh, my parents don't watch this. That's a different environment now. I just went to the IKEA in Brooklyn, down in that neighborhood, and was like, I think I've been here before. Growing up in the projects and being creative, you're a different breed. You didn't go outside and project that things were great. You went outside and protected yourself. I remember consciously wearing things that would ensure that I would have a safe commute to the bus or to school. When I got to school, I had a change of clothes so that I could just be me. Everyone in my family is creative in some way. My focus was actually science. I wanted to study astrophysics. It wasn't until high school. I went to Edward R. Murrow High School. My friends who I took the bus with home every day were in the theater program. They were doing Annie Get Your Gun. And it's freshman year. I went to go pick them up after school. The lights are out in the house and they're on stage. And I'm just sort of watching going, this is cool. Like, why am I not trying out for this? So I auditioned for the next show. It was The King and I. I got cast as an Amazon guard who stood like this the entire time and never said a word and never sang a note. And I totally fell in love with the whole process. No one in my family had ever gone to college. It was just up to me. And so I decided on Brooklyn College. And I did 2 years there. When you graduate school and you want to start in this business, in this industry here in New York, you don't have credits. Where you trained is your credit. I applied to Tisch and I got accepted. And that was, as I call it, my business card, so that when I graduated, I had some sort of clout. When you decide to be an artist in this city, you're tested every single day. Probably working in a restaurant at night. That day, you've got an acting class, you've got 2 auditions, a voice lesson, then you gotta get to work that night. And there's no time to go home. You're packing your backpack. You've got another bag that maybe it's a roll-on. You know, I used to have like my backpack, a side pack here so that it was balanced a little bit, and then something I would carry, and it's like, let's go. To find what it takes to endure that kind of day in, let's say, middle of summer, 100% humidity. It's those moments, I think, that are ways you are tested. I think back to 2005. I had tested HIV positive. My mother was diagnosed with cancer. My father was diagnosed with cancer, all within about a year of each other. And I moved back home with my folks to help them, you know, to help support them. And I myself needed their support. I wasn't booking work, and it just, I found myself more of a burden on them than assistance. I reluctantly quit the business. I took a job as a GM in a restaurant, and I was absolutely miserable. A month into that job, an old college buddy, he'd written his first musical, he wrote a part for me. He's so insistent. I say yes. First day of rehearsal, there's one actress in the room I don't know, and she's staring at me the whole time. Next day, I get a message from her. She's part of the development of a new musical. They're recasting, and I'm someone who very much believes that's how God and the universe works. I invited her to the restaurant. We sit down. She hands me a CD, and I'm listening to the opening number of In the Heights. It blows my mind. These are not caricatures of Latin people. They are flushed out human beings. They're my family. There's no way I can say no to this. That's the beginning of my relationship with Lynn, and that eventually will lead to Hamilton. And when it was time for the presentation of In the Heights, I invited my parents. I got my parents there, and when I was done, we all went home together, and they were very clear to say, you can't quit. We don't know how we'll do it, but you have to do it. No matter what industry you're in, you're amongst the best in your industry here. Not just talent-wise, but ambition and passion. If you want to survive here and succeed here, you've got to be your best. On a daily basis, I gotta meditate, I gotta pray, I gotta write in my journal, I gotta have a cup of coffee. I percolate my coffee. I learned that from my parents. I'll meditate, but I want my coffee near me so I can smell it. This is gonna make me sound like I'm 80. I have a rocking chair that I bought. And so in the mornings when I journal and I have my coffee, I'm in my rocking chair in the sunlight. And I totally feel like a grandpa, but I love it. I grew up around a lot of politically minded people and folks who were very active in finding ways that they personally could make a difference. I never understood the power of the arts until college. One of the jobs I had was teaching literacy through theater. That experience translated eventually to working with incarcerated women, working with youth who had criminal records, and that was all in college. And that's New York, right? This city is full of compassion for everyone and everything. If you've managed to survive a year, the grind hasn't gotten to you, you're a New Yorker. You're writing this damn MTA for a year, that alone is enough to earn your stripes.